Assalamualaikum and have a good day everyone. Welcome to my individual presentation. My name is Nurul Aida binti Azhar and my matric card is SH2021021117. I am from RANACO Education and Training Institute. Today I am going to present about Erikson's theory, motivation and memory. Erikson's theory by Erik Erikson. Erikson's theory is also known as the psychosocial theory of development. It is defined in each stage. At each stage, each individual must face a developmental crisis. Erikson's theory. The main idea in Erikson's theory is that the individual faces a conflict at each stage, which may or may not be successfully resolved within that stage. For example, he called the first stage trust versus mistrust. If the quality of care is good in infancy, the child learns to trust the world to meet her needs. Based on that picture that I have given, there's eight stages of Erikson's theory. First, infancy. Second, early childhood. Third, play age. Fourth, school age. Fifth, adolescence. Sixth, early childhood. Seventh, middle adulthood. And lastly, late adulthood. Stage 1. Infancy, trust versus mistrust. In age 0 to 1 year. Trust versus mistrust is the first stage in Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. If the care of the infant received is consistent, predictable and reliable, they will develop a sense of trust which will carry with them to other relationships and they will be able to feel secure even when threatened. Stage 2. Early childhood. Autonomy versus shame and doubt is the second stage of Erik Erikson's stage of psychosocial development. This stage occurs between the age of 18 months to around age 2 or 3 years. According to Erikson, children at this stage are focused on developing a greater sense of self-control. Stage 3. Preschool years. Initiative versus skill is the third stage of Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. This stage occurs during the preschool years between the age of 3 and 5. During the initiative versus skill stage, children begin to assert their power and control over the world through directing play and other social interaction. Stage 4. Early school years. Definition industry versus inferiority is the stage in which children enter into the greater society beyond the family for the first time. If they succeed in navigating this stage, then they are able to develop a meaningful social role to give back to society. Stage 5. Adolescent. Identify versus confusion is the fifth stage of ego. During this stage, adolescents explore their independence and develop a sense of self. This stage occurs during adolescence between age 13 to 19. Stage 6. Young adulthood. Intimacy versus isolation is the sixth stage of Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development, which happens after the fifth stage of identity versus role confusion. This stage takes place during young adulthood between the age of approximately 19 and 14. So that is why that success at this stage leads to fulfilling relationships. Stage 7. Middle adulthood. Generativity refers to making your mark on the world by caring for others as well as creating and accomplishing things that makes the people world a better place. Key characteristics of generativity include: first, making commitments to other people. Second, developing relationships with family. Third, mentoring others. Fourth, contributing to the next generation. Stage 8. Maturity or late adulthood. Integrity versus despair is the eighth and final stage of Erikson's stage theory of psychosocial development. This stage begins at approximately age 65 and ends at death. Psychologists, counselors, and nurses today use the concepts of Erikson's theory stage when providing care for aging patients. Motivation theory. Motivational theory is tasked with discovering what drives individuals towards a goal or outcome. Businesses are interested in motivational theory because motivated individuals are more productive, leading to more economic use of researchers. 3. Motivation theory, instinct theory, drive theory, and incentive theory. Types and meaning of each theory. Instinct theory. According to the instinct theory of motivation, all organisms are born with innate biological tendencies and help them survive. Drive theory. According to the drive theory of motivation, people are motivated to take certain actions in order to reduce the internal tension. Incentive theory. The incentive theory of motivation is a behavioral theory that suggests people are motivated by a drive for incentive and reinforcement. Instinct theory. Instinct theory of motivation states that all activities, thoughts, and desires can be drawn from being caused by nature. Our biological makeup. Human beings do things because they are evolutionarily programmed to do so. Individuals have a programmed disposition at birth, and genes are identified to motivate people. Based on the picture that I have given, it shows how instinct between animal and human works. According to the drive theory of motivation, people are motivated to take certain actions in order to reduce the internal tension that is caused by unmet needs. The drive theory is based on the concept of homeostasis, or the idea that the body actively works to maintain a certain state of balance or equilibrium. Incentive theory. The incentive theory of motivation is a behavioral theory that suggests people are motivated by a drive for incentive and reinforcement. The incentive theory also proposes that people behave in a way they believe will result in a reward and avoid actions that may entail punishment. Based on the picture that I have shared, the following shows how incentive theory works. It shows how they work to get their target. Definition of forgetting. First, lost information from long-term memory. Second, memory is fragile. Third is amnesia. Next, the way to improve memory in students' perspective. First, eat less added sugar. Second, get enough sleep. Third, practice mindfulness. Last but not least, from this Atkinson and Schifrin model, the conclusion is that the theories that have been studied by psychologists are very beneficial to humans from ancient times to the present. This is because human beings will know more about human growth from the aspect of development, actions or behavior, and the memory or memory that human beings have from birth. As a human being, we must be wise to start examining ourselves with others because there we will assess how great or how weak we are. Finally, be as smart as psychologists in studying human abilities. Finally, we have reached the end of the presentation. I hope you all can understand and learn more about what we discussed earlier. If there is something wrong and lacking, I hope it can be explained and given guidance in the future.
Alright guys, that's all from me about Erikson's theory, motivation, and memory. I hope you guys enjoy and thanks for watching.